Hey everyone, it's Andrea, and welcome to Scenes Out of Place. If you don't know, I have a short story book called Scenes Out of Place, where I have multiple stories that feature zombies, dragons, and surviving in space. And there are a couple more ideas that might fit into those worlds, but don't necessarily need a whole new book. So I'm bringing them to you in an audio edition. So sit back and enjoy some of the stories that didn't make it to the final edition, but still need to exist. Content warning. This episode contains detailed mentions of death, blood, graphic violence, and fire. Please take care while listening. Hey guys, so let me fill you in on what to expect with this episode. We are still within the Touched by Dragonfire realm, but we're not going to hang out with our normal radio host. Instead, we are meeting a new dragon, Golden Scale. Golden Scale is an air dragon that lives in the mountains, and it's considered one of the most beautiful dragons to exist. But with beauty comes danger, because Golden Scale has one of the highest body counts of all the dragons that have reemerged. It's very rare that anyone who crosses its path survives. So today's episode is a report written by one of the very few survivors. I hope you enjoy. It's been 215 days since I went on that stupid hike with my friends. We were friends since elementary school. We all met in first grade, and though we went to different middle schools and different high schools and even different colleges, we still got together every year because no one else knew us like we did. You know, we were friends. And we had all finished college. Some of us were going for our masters, but for most of us, we were joining the real world, so to speak. And this was our last final backpacking trip into the mountains before we started our real jobs, you know? We were so young and so stupid. And it's weird because it happened 215 days ago, but I'm not that same person anymore. I'm not that young girl who thought life was her oyster and she could do anything. I mean, could you be the same person after seeing your friends ripped apart and gobbled up like pieces of candy? To have a friend die in your arms? I don't think you would be the same person. I'm the only one of my friend group who survived. I'm the only one left, and it's not a blessing. It's not a blessing that I'm alive. It's a curse. Because I get to exist with dragons. I wish I could close my eyes and never see that horrible, beautiful creature ever again. To everyone else, it's beauty, it's gold incarnate, it's gold personified, it's blinged out. But to me, gold now represents the color of death. It played with us. It freaking played with us for 2 days. I know it always knew which one of us it was going to kill and who was going to survive. I know it did. Others tell me it's wrong to think that, but it's a dragon. And I think that that dragon had enough mental fortitude to play with his food and leave one person to tell its story. There's a part of me that does not think that's so far-fetched. Or did I have a mental break and I'm overthinking it? I might. I can agree to that. I might be overthinking it, but that's what it felt like. It felt like the dragon was playing with us, that we were its food, and after centuries of being asleep, it wanted to play before it ate us. And because I'm the unlucky one who survived, I was asked to write down my experience because historians want to have a record of what happened when every single stupid dragon emerged. So now, the horror story that is the death of my friends must live on in this world. So, future historians and scientists and zoologists and whatever those other people are who study this crap, so they can know this story. So here I am writing this report, and I'm being very rude about it because there's no positive spin on this. It was terrible. It was the worst day of my life. My friends died in front of me, and there was nothing I could do about it. There was nothing I could do to change it, to save them, anything. And the worst part is, I can't do anything to avenge them. Because how do you kill a dragon? Please, someone, anyone, someone tell me. How does one kill a freaking dragon? Because I don't know. I don't know. And I wish I did. I so wish I did, because I would take whatever it was, whatever the weapon was, the sword, the spear. I don't care. I would take it and I would find that stupid golden encrusted overgrown lizard and I would ram whatever it was straight into the cavern where the heart should be, because that thing doesn't have a heart. It doesn't deserve to live. I don't care what anyone says. That freaking beast played with us. We never stood a chance. But I digress. Maybe it's too soon for me to write this down on paper. Maybe it's too soon for me to explain it to you all. Maybe. I don't know. Like I said, we were hiking. It was our last hurrah up the mountain. We knew the routes, the trails like the back of our hands. We knew the mountain because it was like our second home. Since we were old enough to camp by ourselves, we did. We felt safe there. The park rangers knew us. They knew us by name. We were safe. And we weren't trying to do anything dangerous, you know? We weren't stupid. We lived in the real world. We weren't going to risk these great jobs that we had lined up. We weren't going to risk it. So we wanted to have one last time doing something we loved together before long nights in the office became the norm. So we hiked 2 days into the forest. We were in the spot we were in at least 5 times before. And we decided we were going to go up the small trail to the side of the mountain. Jake wanted to climb, and we wanted the view of the sun setting. So, two birds, one stone. But as we got halfway up the mountain, we saw an opening that wasn't there the last time we were there. And it was just large enough for 3 people to fit through together. So we had some climbing gear, we had water, we had our granola bars. We thought we were good. We never planned on going too deep. But if I could ever have one superpower, it would be a time machine that would stop us from going in. I don't think I could stop the dragon from emerging, but I could stop my friends from dying. But either way, we went into this cave, and when we got in about 100 feet, we were in awe. Diamonds, gold, all just sort of encrusted into the wall of the mountain. You know, thinking back on it now, it was a trap. We were lured in by something pretty. But I mean, if you found a diamond that was the size of your fist, wouldn't you be excited? Wouldn't you want to find more? I mean, with that one diamond that I held in my hand, I could have paid off my student loans. I could have paid off my parents' house, bought a new car, and gave a little extra to my brothers. Like I could see it, all of it, everything that I could do with the money, how many people I could help. We were all just so entranced by it that we just walked deeper and deeper and deeper. All of us talking about everything that we could do. Did we even need to start our jobs with all this money? And we weren't being greedy. We didn't need everything in the mountain. We just wanted enough to set our families up. But we were so stupid. So, so stupid. We were so blinded by everything we saw on the walls, we didn't see the thing that was moving. We didn't see how the lights sort of dimmed. We didn't see its huge golden body stand before us before it was too late. Before it used one of its giant, ugly claws to pick up Frederick and eat him in 2 bites. I liked Frederick. I had a crush. I wanted to ask him out on a date. He was 22, had an engineering degree, and he wanted to make the world a better place. The only thing that I'm thankful for is that he died before he really knew what was happening. The rest of us weren't so lucky. In the mayhem after the dragon ate Frederick, that's when we realized how far into the mountain we had gone. So we tried to backtrack, and we got split up. The dragon diving each and every way, splitting us up, hurting us. We didn't see it at first. We didn't get it. We were scared out of our minds in that fight or flight moment, and we ran. We chose flight. And then I heard Christy scream, and then a terrible crunch. Because instead of eating her head first, like it did Frederick, that thing ate her leg first. She felt everything. She saw herself being eaten alive. I think it was in that moment that we all knew we were probably going to die. But it's not something you ever say out loud, you know? You don't say out loud that you're going to die because we're human. And we have the ability to think it's not us, that we are the exception to the rule, that we're the ones who are going to survive the horror story. We're the final girl. I guess I was the final girl. I survived that attack. But it doesn't matter. The nightmares don't stop. And there's a part of me that wishes no, no, I can't write that. I won't write that. I won't put that on paper. Would it be dishonoring their legacies if I put that down on paper? Writing it out for the world to see? I don't know. I'm sorry. This is hard for me to put on paper. But back to Golden Scale, as the scientists so eloquently named it. It's such a stupid name. To the scientist who reads this, Golden Scale is a stupid name. You named it after what it looked like. It's gold and it has scales. You tried so hard to come up with such a fancy name. I think you could have come up with something better. I'm sorry, that was rude. After it ate Chrissy, that's when we saw our exit. If I'm being honest with myself, I hate putting this on paper. I don't want to finish this. I don't want dragons to go down in the history books. They say history is written by the victors. But More than anything, I don't want future children to be enamored with these overgrown lizards because that's all they are. Stupid, bloodthirsty, overgrown lizards that need to be put down because they kill innocent people. There's no beauty about it. The fact of the matter is, it's because they're so beautiful that makes it so much more dangerous. We didn't see it. We saw the gold. We were so blinded by money that we didn't see the very thing that would cause our death. Don't they always say greed is the root of all evil? Or is it money? I don't know. By the time we made it out of the cave, the sun hadn't moved that far in the sky, but it felt like we were in there for hours. We ran down the side of that mountain as fast as we could. And we passed a couple people, not many. And I promise you, we told them to run, to hide, but they didn't listen. They should have listened. We made it back to camp and grabbed whatever we absolutely needed. I left my tent. I loved that thing, and I think it's probably still out there, but I'm never going back for it. I just grabbed some extra food, an extra bottle of water, and I started running. Which objectively was probably a bad idea because we were leading it directly towards town, but in that moment, all I could think of was run and hide. Initially, I planned to run all throughout the night. I didn't care if I was exhausted by the time that I got to my car. I wasn't going to stop running until I was in the car on my way home, away from that freaking dragon. And that's when the dragon fire came out of nowhere. We thought we were safe hiding under the trees, that it couldn't see us. But dragons breathe fire, and trees burn. It burned down the forest looking for us. We separated in the smoke, and then I heard more screaming and more crunching. As I stumbled through the burning forest, evading the animals who were trying to escape the dragon like I was, I saw my friend Tiffany's head. Her eyes were still open, and there was so much blood. Oh my gosh, there was so much blood. That didn't stop me. I I I couldn't tell where it was, but I knew it was above me, so I ran towards the river. I thought that maybe it was tracking body heat. I don't know. It's a lizard, right? And lizards are cold-blooded and they sometimes try to find body heat. So I thought maybe if I dunk myself in the river, I could hide my body temperature from it. I ended up bumping into Jake and Devin. They'd been dating for about 2 years. Jake was going to propose after the trip. Before they started their new lives, he was going to propose to her. Everyone else was in on it except Devin. Apparently, they had the same thought as me, and we were running towards the river together. And it dived down out of the sky, out of nowhere. So silent. And it took Devin's arm clean off. Just one swipe, and it was gone. Her left arm was gone. How could a thing that big be so silent? And then it went back into the sky like it played tag. And then it went back into the sky like it tagged her. And now we were it. Jake grabbed his belt and tried to put a tourniquet on her arm. And he grabbed her and started running towards the river, and I followed. And then this huge gust of air came out, knocked me to the ground, knocked Jake and Devin to the ground. And then with another swipe of its ugly claws, Jake's legs were gone. So we were there sprawled in this clearing, and Jake was screaming in pain, and Devin was screaming in pain, and I was just sort of there and helpless. I didn't know how to save both of them. And that stupid lizard just looked at me. and I swear it was smiling, like it was enjoying the pain we were in. And I thought I was next. I fully expected to die in that moment. And I stared up at it, defiant, refusing to cower away in fear. But instead, it just flapped its god-awful golden wings, sending enough air through the forest to put out the fire it started, and flew back to the mountain. I tried. I promise you, I tried to save Jake. I really did. But he lost too much blood too quickly. There was nothing I could do to slow the bleeding. His femoral artery was exposed and he bled out. He bled out in a matter of minutes and he was gone, just like that. I tried to help Devin. I promise you I did. We made it to the river and I cleaned her up as best as I could. And we just sort of stayed in the river and slowly made our way towards town. We found an old drain pipe, used it as a bit of covering, and we slept there. And in the morning, she looked so pale, but she was alive. So I could get her back to town. I had to get her back to town because as far as I knew, it was just us. We were the only two left. But she was so weak and we had to move so slow. I kept glancing back into the sky, seeing if it was following us, but I didn't see anything. And I thought for a moment that my plan worked, that it couldn't pick us up because we were freezing cold in this river. It took a whole day of dragging her, but we made it to the parking lot. When we burst through that tree line, there were families there getting ready to go on a family hike through the woods on the trails. And I tried to warn them. I did. A father rushed over to try to help me with Devin, but the lizard decided to make another appearance and it landed on one of the cars with this huge crunch. And Devin died. Before I could get her into a car, before we could try and run away, she died in my arms. She was about to be proposed to. She was my best friend. And she died. And that stupid lizard just cocked his head at me like it was mocking me for thinking I could escape. And I cried and I screamed at it. And the people around me screamed because they didn't know what it was. They were so surprised to see a dragon. They didn't understand the horror that I had been in for the last day and a half. They didn't know. I saw parents trying to push their kids out of the strollers into the cars, all trying to escape. It was mayhem. And all through the screaming and the chaos, the stupid dragon was staring at me as I was holding my dead best friend's body. And then it turned, like it was satisfied with my grief, and it wiped out everyone else in the parking lot. It ate everyone. It did not discriminate against age or gender. It ate men, women, children, babies. It did not care. It tore through, devoured, and destroyed anything and everything that it could get its stupid claws on. And it just left me there in the middle of all that carnage, screaming at it. And then, like it didn't just play with people's lives like we were Lego blocks, it pushed off the ground and flew back towards the mountain, satisfied with all the destruction it did because we were just playthings for it. I don't know what else they want me to write about this. It was the worst day of my life. And it's still out there. I feel like it's still watching me, taunting me, waiting. So I try not to go outside anymore. I try not to talk to people anymore because I don't think I can handle anything else. Reports say that it hasn't been seen in 2 months, and I'm hoping that's the end of it because there's nothing beautiful about golden scale. Nothing. Gold is the color of death. Dragons, man. Hey everyone, thank you so much for listening to the latest episode of Scenes Out of Place Audio Edition. I truly, truly, truly hope that you're all enjoying this because I'm having so much fun creating these. It is scratching an itch in my brain that I've had for so long. But it does take a lot of time and effort to make these episodes. So if you would like to help me or support me, you can take a little gander over to my Patreon page and sign up under author support. For everyone who signs up under author support, your name will be read on the credits at the end of each new episode. Because I want this to be something we all can enjoy, but I might need a little help in doing so. So if you would like to support me, check it out. Otherwise, keep listening and enjoying. And as always, thank you so much for your support.